We're being joined by DIG Dan Azumi-Doma. He joins us from our studios in Abuja. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria.
And in our Lagos studio, we have a legal practitioner who will be weighing in on this, Mr. Malachy Ugwummadu. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with you, Mr. Doma. The president has given a mandate, a 3-month mandate. But before this 3-month mandate, the military command had begun to gain some grounds, gain back some areas that had been taken over by the insurgents. That was before the elections, and even after the elections, they've continued to gain some more grounds. Now, the question will be, how has the police, or how is the police keying into all these gains by the military?
Thank you for that question. Long before now, Nigerians would know that it was the Nigerian police that started the fight against the insurgents. But when it got to a level that the police could no longer cope, the military had to come in. And since they came in, the police and the military have been prosecuting the war against this insurgency together. That is where we are, and that is what is happening right now.
So what role is the police playing, even with, now that the military has come in, what role has the police been playing, or is the police playing?
When the military took over the fight, the police is supporting the military in the fight against the insurgencies. Normally, wherever the military has liberated, the police are there to make sure that they take ground and they ensure that these insurgents do not come back. In addition to that, we also support and assist with intelligence on where these insurgents are regrouping or what they are planning to do next.
When you talk about, you just brought up the issue of intelligence here, and it's believed that the police is closer to the civilian population than the military is. Now, the president has given a mandate of 3 months. There are those who believe that the police hasn't been really effective, even though they seem to be, or they've been working and helping to mop up where the military has gained grounds. The police comes in to mop up and all of that. But in the area of intelligence gathering, there are those who argue that the police has not been doing so well in providing intelligence for the operations up there.
I think, you know, intelligence is not an issue that will be discussed on pages of papers, on televisions, and in the media. It is something that has to be given to those who need to use it. So, police is doing a lot in contributing to the intelligence gathering that is being used to combat this insurgency. You know, we also have other agencies that are responsibly charged with the intelligence gathering, such as the director of, the Department of State Security, Military Intelligence, and all those. So it is not the issue of gathering intelligence in fighting this insurgency is not restricted to the police alone. So it's a kind of synergy that is being put together to deal with this situation.
Okay. Let's come to the studio and talk to Malachy, who is here with us. When the president gave that 3-month deadline, some people said that since it wasn't conventional warfare and it wasn't dependent on how many tanks you now roll out to go fight them, it was going to be a tall order. What are your thoughts?
Well, as a Nigerian and as one who does not enjoy the privilege of my colleague in Abuja, I would think that what came across was a refreshed determination, an ambitious one on the part of the presidency to deal squarely with the issue of insurgency. The reasons are simple. President Buhari rose to power on the crest of 3 cardinal issues. The one is insecurity, his determination and ambition to provide security for the Nigerian people. Indeed, that is in sync with the primary responsibility of any government, every government all over the world. The second is the fight against corruption, and of course, the economy. Now, having said that, I think it is important to emphasize the point that the security apparatus of the entire nation, the cohesive force of the nation, lies squarely with the security apparatus of the nation, including the police. Indeed, what has happened over time is that most other agencies you find, be it SSS, NDLEA, even the civil defense, came out as a result of the challenges that the traditional Nigerian police were having. I understand that even the SSS was a department in the Nigerian police, just as you have SFU and so on and so forth. Indeed, EFCC, there is nothing that the EFCC ICP is doing today that is not within the purview, legally speaking, of the Nigerian Police Act. And therefore, I think that what is new is that a new sheriff, like the cliche goes now, is in town. There is a renewed determination, one that benefits from somebody who is already experienced. This is not the first time that Mr. President is superintending the affairs of this country. But secondly, and more importantly, is the fact that it is not just a marching order. There seems to be a mechanism to achieve that order. And how do I mean? The public declaration that the service chief should relocate to the center of this insurgency was not just instructive. It was a move that, rekindled, that motivated those who were in the forefront. Indeed, I watched, I think, the chief of army staff celebrating with the soldiers during the Salah, the Salah era, and so on and so forth. So the point I'm making is that what seems to be new this time around is that Mr. President probably must have weighed the implication of the statement. He also must have appreciated the implications of giving deadlines, because so long we have had deadlines, and so long we have not achieved the object of those deadlines. So I do not think that he's naive. I do not think that he lacks the knowledge to understand the weight of that deadline, because it's quite clear now, and I have seen that resonate. But believe you me, where Nigerians are deeply interested is to watch and see the strategic mechanisms by which these security agencies are able to coordinate a coherent action, one that will not just degrade the insurgents, but will put them literally out of place. And in making that point, I like to emphasize that the president has given the political statement, not just as the president, but as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It now behoves on the service chiefs, including the Inspector General of Police, to begin to work out the details on how this can be achieved. We all know that the devil is actually in the details. But with the renewed vigor, with the acquisition of equipment, as I understand it, and the incentive, even the morale boosting, no less the coordination of neighboring states. I'm talking of Sudan, Cameroon, and so on and so forth. The chances are that we might be able to deal with this situation.
All right, Mr. Doma, one of the words that the president used in his directive was reprofessionalize your men. Yeah, you said you've been working with the army, but let's look at the areas. What are areas of collaboration? I know specifically you're in charge of force, criminal investigation, and intelligence. But right. What particular efforts in the areas of collaboration is the police looking at to help meet this deadline of 3 months?
Just as a rider to what the last speaker said, you would see that yesterday the service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police moved to Maiduguri, where they are right now, to strategize and look at the tactical aspect with which to deal with this situation. In addition to that, you would see that by next week, Monday to be precise, the IG has designed and articulated security summit, which Mr. President is supposed to flag off. This is to encourage the public down to the grassroots and at all levels to partner with the police so as to fight this insurgency. You know, these people are, you know, mixed up with the public. They are mixed up with members of the public. And the way to deal with them, to deal with them is to get the cooperation, support, and assistance of members of the public to come up with useful information so that we can deal with the situation. So there is a lot of synergy between the services, the security agencies, the military, and within us, we have realized this. So we want members of the public to come in this time around to give us the necessary information that we need to deal with this situation.